seek recognition.
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk, number 206.
The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment offered by Ms. Jackson Lee of Texas. At the end of the bill, before the short title, add the following new section. None of the funds made available by this act for the Department of Interior, National Park Service, National Recreation and Preservation may be used in contravention of Section 320101 of Title 54 United States Code.
Pursuant to House Resolution 333, the gentlelady from Texas and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Texas.
I thank the chair very much. Mr. Chairman, I again rise with my appreciation to the managers of this bill and their staff. But I also want to thank them for the very civil discussion that occurred earlier by two of my colleagues who offered amendments regarding the exhibition of Civil War artifacts or the rebel flag, and I thank them for their courtesy in those amendments of those individuals. I also make a statement on the floor that I look forward to the opportunity given to us by the leadership of this House to have a full discussion on various entities that do not unify but divide. And I think a civil debate on this is warranted in this House as we watched the very moving and very honest debate that took place in South Carolina. My amendment, however, is one that I hope is embracing and is a show of unity about what America stands for, and that is the National Heritage Area Corridor designation. And I just want to show this map, and I am certainly quite pleased that a number of these national heritage areas do exist. There are 49 of them, none in the state of Texas, none but possibly one in Minnesota, maybe one between Arizona and California, but very few in the West, including the state of Idaho, and I could name a number of other states. And so my amendment is to highlight again the value of these national trails. This is particularly important because this tells the story of America. 16 U.S. Code number 461 provides that it is declared that it is a national policy to preserve for public use historic sites, buildings, and objects of national significance for the inspiration and benefit of the people of the United States. Again, I want to emphasize that, the inspiration. Texas has, starting in Galveston, history referring to the Emancipation Proclamation. We commemorate something called Juneteenth, and out of Juneteenth was the time when Captain Granger came to the shores of Galveston in Texas and announced that the slaves had been freed. However, there are a number of other historic sites following the trail from Galveston through Houston, and to include the Emancipation Park, McGregor Park, and then sites going up through Austin. We really understand that this idea of historic trails can create an economic impact. For example, in 2012, a nationally respected consulting firm completed a comprehensive economic impact of 6 national historic sites in the Northeast region. That also included an extrapolation of the economic benefit of all 49 NHAs. It was $12.9 billion. The study quantified the economic impacts of the individual NHAs and based it upon a case study approach, and found that the economic impact of 3 national historic areas in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania showed 153.8 million, 1,832 jobs, and generates 14.3 million in tax revenue. In Pennsylvania, 21.2 million, 314 jobs, 1.5 million in tax revenue. Yuma Crossing National Heritage Area in Arizona, 7.7 million in economic impact, 277 jobs, and 1.3 million in taxation. This is, Mr. Chairman, an important and very vital part of America's history. And as we approach the anniversary of this legislation that was created in 1966, I think it is important to reinforce the ability for these particular sites. We need to increase the ability for feasibility studies. We need the support of legislative action and designation, and we need to be able to introduce people to the importance of these sites. I ask my colleagues to support this amendment, and I reserve my time.
Gentlelady reserves. Does any member wish to rise in opposition to this amendment? The gentlelady from Texas is recognized for a remaining 15 seconds.
Let me make very quick mention of the Emancipation Park in Houston. In 1872, 4 former slaves raised $800. That would be part of it. But I would just simply say that this is a very important part of America's history. I ask my colleagues to support the creation of a National Heritage Site across America by supporting the Jackson Lee Amendment, that we can expand the 49 sites to other states that do not have one single site, and Texas is one of them. I yield back.
Gentlelady's time has expired. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentlelady from Texas. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.